Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Titus. Now in this video, I'm here to talk to you guys about some plant selling tips. Okay, so the previous video that I made is in relation to plant buying. This time around, it's about plant selling. Okay, so how do you actually sell your plant so that you can get some revenue out of it, so that you can actually be productive with your plant passion as well? Okay, so I hope that you guys will stick around to this video for those tips. All right, let's get started. Okay, so the first tip that I'm gonna give you guys is in relation to Facebook, okay? I know that some people may be anti-social media, but as far as I'm aware, Facebook is actually a platform that is widely used everywhere. Okay, whether you're playing a game, whether you're probably joining a church group or a company or things like that, they often have a Facebook page or a Facebook group. And in Facebook groups, there are plant collector groups, okay, as well. So if you guys haven't found out about that already, okay, look online, okay, because there are some platforms there which you're able to sell. Facebook Market is okay. However, if you want to target the people that actually wants to buy the product that you're selling, there are Facebook Markets specifically for plants as well. So join those Facebook group market targeted at plant people, or what would you call them? We have this group in Australia called SIPA, which is crazy indoor plant people in Australia. And there's also heaps and heaps of other groups, okay? There's heaps of people in those plant communities who's also addicted to plants like myself. And oftentimes other plant addicts would sell stuff there as well. So by all means, join a plant market group in Facebook. Okay, once you've joined a plant group, the next thing you'd want to do is then market the product that you're trying to sell. Okay, and I'm going to use an example of my Monstera Thigh constellation that I'm not selling. Okay, however, if you have a look at this plant, okay, it's quite healthy, it's quite vibrant, it's nice. However, if you're trying to sell a plant and it's got really poor lighting, oftentimes people can think it's a bit dodgy and they won't end up buying it. Okay, so I would just recommend take really good pictures. Okay, and oftentimes your normal iPhone or even Android phone actually takes really good photos now. As best as possible, try not to use filters, otherwise it might look fake. You can enhance that photo using all those editing tools to make it more vibrant looking and all as such, but try and not make it look fake, because if you do sell something online and you have a really bad review, then oftentimes that can be damaging to your reputation, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. Okay, so that's my next tip. Take a really good, nice photo. Okay, how do you take a good, nice photo? I might, again, make a future video for that. But basically, just ensuring that you take a full angled photo of that whole plant, just like this. Okay, the next thing you want to do is also ensure that you're also taking a photo of the nicest foliage that you can find with regard to this plant, as well as actually putting a disclaimer in your description about the different damages that may have incurred there, so that the buyer actually buys at their own risk. Okay, because oftentimes there are like minor damage and you don't know what it is. It might just be a physical damage, it might be a pest damage, but it's really good to actually make the buyer known if there are any issues in relation to the plant that you're selling. Okay, so that's my tips about taking good photos. All right, my next tip is about, again, research. Okay, this might be something that's quite resounding, but if you are going to sell a product, again, part of market research is about seeing what's actually out there. So for example, if I were to sell this thigh constellation for $5,000, because I think that's what it's worth, no one's gonna buy that. Okay, so understand what the actual current value is of that plant that you're trying to sell. And plant products actually increase and decrease over time depending on the demand and also the supply that's available. So how I would usually do my market research in terms of pricing is just doing a quick Facebook search, or in the search bar of that Facebook marketplace, and actually looking for that plant that you're trying to sell, and then seeing the price range. Once you find a price range, I would suggest going 10% lower of what is currently being advertised. For example, if this type of plant is currently selling for $500 or $400, I forgot how much it's worth now, actually, depending on when you're watching this, then often I would probably go around 380 or 360 so that you don't have too much losses, but it also makes it a bit more attractive to the buyer to actually buy that particular plant that you're selling. Okay, so often in the marketplace, if there's heaps and heaps of that product, and you try to sell that same product as well, obviously they're gonna go for the ones that's actually much better value for their money. Okay, so if there aren't a lot of it, then by all means sell it for the price that you want to. Otherwise, if there's a lot of people selling that same product, you're probably going to fish more people in that market by actually marking down your price by 10 to 20%. And I think that's a bit reasonable, and you can still make money out of that. The other thing in relation to it as well is about putting it into auction, and that's the next video I'm going to make. So if you guys are interested to know how to put plants into auction, then please watch my next video or future video related to that. Okay, the next tip that I'm gonna give you guys is about being patient. Okay, so selling items, selling products is actually about patience. Okay, you don't expect to have a product put out in the market and it being sold straight away unless it's being sold as an auction. Okay, otherwise, with regard to the plants that you guys are selling, just be patient, because oftentimes it just needs to be more exposed out there. Okay, so sometimes you may also need to increase the platforms in which you're selling. Okay, you might try to sell in your Facebook Live group, in your Instagram Live group, in your own social media platforms, sell it to your family and friends and things like that. And I've certainly done that in the past. So increase the range of where you're selling and be patient. Okay, and my last tip for you guys is that often if there is a particular plant that you're selling and it suddenly grows significantly, then by all means do a markup if you need. Okay, so just delete your old post about that previous plant. Again, take more new photos. Make sure that you write in the description accurately in terms of what it is that you're selling, and then mark it up. Okay, so there's no shame in doing that, because sometimes people may not even know. However, if you do mark up your price, just remember that it may not sell if it's too pricey or expensive. So just be mindful about that. All right, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope that you guys have found this video useful. If you have, then please go ahead and click that like button. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. Please jot down in the comments down below if I did miss down some other tips in relation to selling. Otherwise, I will see you guys on the next video. Until then, goodbye and God bless.